The following is a non-profit fan-created review. All music, footage, and images are properties of their respective owners and are subject to fair use under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. We claim no ownership of anything save the original material. Please support the official products.
Greetings and salutations, dear viewers! Welcome to another bone-crunching episode of The Anti-Viewer! When you think of anime, what's the first thing that usually pops into your mind? Well, aside from all the nasty fetish porn, I mean. Chances are you'll first think of high school, because let's face it, of all the myriad settings to be found in the anime multiverse, none are more overused and endemic as the plain, ordinary edifice for secondary studies that is your everyday Japanese high school. I couldn't rightly explain the industry fascination with the school setting, my own high school experience being something that I was all too happy to put behind me. So many traumas. They paid for my therapist's vacation! But for whatever reason, the majority of anime are set there, and today's anime is no different. This is Amagami SS! Amagami is a Japanese dating simulator for the PlayStation 2 that was released in March of 2009. For those of you who are new to anime and don't know what a dating simulator is, then picture it as Persona 4 with nothing but the social links, and you'll have an idea of what to expect. And yes, it is as pathetic as you might expect, because everyone knows that only fat geeks with no hope of ever landing a real girl play games of this genre. At least games won't hurt you. Anyway, the game's success led to an anime adaptation titled Amagami SS to be released in July of 2010, which ran until December for a total of 26 episodes, and that's what we're here to look at today. The anime was directed by Yoshimasa Hiraike, whom you may recognize as the man behind the hilarious insanity that was Working. Coincidentally, Kana Asumi, the seiyuu of one of Working's female leads, Taneshima, also voices a prominent character in Amagami SS. It's a funny little world, isn't it? But does this foray into high school romance graduate top of its class, or does it flunk out and get sent to military school? Well, get your textbooks out and prep those pencils, kiddies, because this is the review of Amagami SS! As befits an anime based off a dating sim, we have a beefy cast of characters to look at and little time to do it, so let's get cracking! The main character of this anime is one Junichi Tachibana, a junior student at Kibito High School who lives in nameless Japanese city number 37, though to its credit this one has wind turbines as landmarks, instead of that bridge you always see in anime towns. Anyway, Junichi is a bruised soul, having had his heart broken 2 years ago when he was stood up by a girl on Christmas Eve, and as a result, he is wary of love and dislikes celebrating the Christmas season, as the memory is still painful to him. A man who deals with hurt feelings by withdrawing into himself? What girly bullshit is this? Everyone knows the only masculine way to face emotional trauma is by going for the man coma! His hurt feelings aside, Junichi is quite the kindly fellow, who gets on well with most anyone and is good to the people around him. Furthermore, Junichi proves that he is capable of doing whatever it takes for the people he cares for, a quality made more endearing by his tendency to pursue any goal with passion, whether it be helping out his friends with problems or just goofing around with his buds. It's this enthusiasm that I like most about Junichi. It takes a special kind of guy to roleplay as a dog and still do it with gusto.
違うでしょ？お座り。そこから先はまだ通行止めなんだから。
No, I'm not explaining it. As everyman characters go, Junichi may not look like much, in fact he kind of looks like a young Wataru Takagi from Detective Conan, but his strong personality gives him a memorable quality that means you'll enjoy seeing him do his thing, a definite plus in my book. And now we come to the pillars of any good dating sim / romance story, the female leads. I'm not exaggerating when I say that these characters are crucial to the enjoyment of any anime in this genre, and more than the main character, need to be both interesting and endearing. No cookie-cutter stereotypes allowed! The first of our female leads is Haruka Morishima, the very popular quarter-British school diva in her last year. Despite being the idol of many boys, Morishima is no regal and dignified ice queen, but is instead energetic, friendly, and more than a little zany in her ways. Her interests include cute things, puppies, peeking in on swimming club practice, and really anything else that happens to catch her attention. Morishima's defining characteristic is her fancifulness. If she finds a situation or person interesting, then you can bet your ass she'll make it known, usually to the mystification of others present. Her fickle desires and the earnest way she pursues them make her quite fun to watch, especially when she glomps another character right the fuck out of nowhere, much to the irritation of her best friend Hibiki. Her popularity is not accidental either, as Morishima is the winner of the Miss Santa contest 2 years running, which testifies to her fun-loving and adventurous personality. Whether it be in her own arc, where she playfully leads Junichi down the road of love, or in other arcs where her cheerful interruptions of the story always manage to make me smile, Haruka Morishima will never fail to catch your attention, and always for the better. Next up is Kaoru Tanamachi, one of Junichi's best buds whom he's known since middle school. Kaoru is, as her appearance lets on, a rambunctious and energetic girl whose practice of punching Junichi and putting him in submission holds is indicative of her tomboyish nature.
さあどうだ参ったか。ギブアップならギブアップって言いなさいよ。誰が。さあこれでどうだ。うわギブかギブかギブ。勝者棚町。
He could very well be injured. Kaoru is chummy and has strong principles, often standing up for the little guy with the same confidence she has for most of life's challenges. But Kaoru isn't all punches and pep. She also enjoys teasing others, never out of malice, and is actually very hard-working, being employed in a cafe and helping her single mother out around the house. If I had to describe Kaoru, in one word, it would be dependable. She's a good friend you can always count on to be there for you. Kaoru's own arc also highlights her softer side, as she struggles with her developing feelings for Junichi, whom she's always seen as a friend. Funny enough, considering that the feeling is mutual. In every other arc, however, Kaoru is the best friend who, despite her teasing and occasional bout of violence, will always be firmly in support of our main character. In direct contrast to the outgoing Kaoru, we have Sai Nakata, a freshman at the school and friend to Junichi's little sister. Sai, having studied most of her life in an all-girls school, is incredibly shy around men and can often be seen hiding behind the far bolder Mia. With her shyness comes a certain innocence that, coupled with her petite frame and generous assets, allow me to put the Moe label on her. But unlike most of her ilk, Sae isn't just one big study in being aware of her shyness and working hard to better herself. The focus of her arc is her efforts to become more assertive so she can attain a job working in a cafe, which does a good job of showing both her determination as well as Junichi's kindness, since he is her instructor. It comes as no surprise that Junichi is the one to bring this shy flower out of her shell and planting the seeds of love for both parties in the process. In other arcs, Sai is most often the cute reaction to her best friend's outlandish behavior, and Mia's habit of appreciating Sai's form is a reliable source of comedy. The maidenly little cupcake with a will far stronger than her adorably soft voice lets on, Sai Nakata is a perfect example of Moe done right. In your face, Keion! And speaking of strong wills, meet Ai Nanasaki, member of the Kibito swim team and other friend to Junichi's sister. Nanasaki is on first appearances a cool, calm individual with a sharp edge to her words. But go a little further under the surface, get it? Because she's on the swim team! And you will learn that Nanasaki is laid back, amiable, and actually rather playful when it comes to her friends and Junichi. Actually, her own arc is where you learn that Nanasaki is a great deal bolder than other characters, as she returns our hero's affections relatively quickly, and is not shy about letting him know it. Nanasaki is also very conscious of others, being concerned that her younger brother is distancing himself from her in adolescence, and working hard not to disappoint her swimming captain Hibiki. Her friendship with Mia and Sae is the most common trait of Nanasaki's outside her arc, where she behaves differently, serving as a sort of bridge between the very shy and reserved Sae and the outgoing and energetic Mia. Nanasaki is definitely a complex character, one that I confess to not fully understanding, but then perhaps that's the intention. Or perhaps I'm just really dense. Regardless of the depths her character dives to, get it? Because she's on the swim team! Nanasaki is still an entertaining, cool character who provides her share of troubles and joys to Junichi. But why ramen? And next up we have someone closer to Junichi and more than just an age range. This is Rihoko Sakurai, a junior in Kibito High's tea club and Junichi's oldest friend, the two having known each other since infancy. Rihoko is a bright, happy girl with a big appetite and an even bigger heart, though her attempts at dieting are of questionable success at best. Despite being a mite clumsy and perhaps a touch gullible.
リホッチ、シュークリームの語源って知ってるかい？いい
え、知りませんけど。
古代ヘブライ語で、シュークは愛。リームにはおまじないって意味があってね。
へー。
As an actual French person, I call bullshit on this explanation. Rihoko makes up for it by being extremely hard to hate, because she's just so damn earnest and friendly. Another key part of Rihoko is her long-standing, unrequited love for Junichi. Why yes, unlike the other girls, our Rihochi has held a crush on Takagi over there for quite a long time. But unlike Kaoru, Rihoko does not agonize over her feelings, accepting them and enjoying every day she spends with both Junichi and her friends, even if it means her love goes unspoken. Outside of her own arc, Rihoko can often be seen with her two senpai, who are grooming her to take over the tea club once they graduate, though her brewing skills still need work, and occasionally hangs out with Mia and her own friends, proving that Rihoko's personality wins her no small amount of popularity. A joyful, content girl who hopes that one day her feelings will reach our hero, Rihoko Sakurai is hands down my favorite female lead, hiding nothing but good things behind that wide, warm, beautiful smile. Our last female lead is the representative for Junichi's Class 2A, Tsukasa Ayatsuji. Ayatsuji is noticeable in that, whatever the arc, she is always the head of the Founders Festival Planning Committee, a position no one else will fill. This highlights her willingness to take on the tasks that no one else will, and always giving it her all to ensure that they bear fruit. Ayatsuji is simply a hard-working model student who acts as the calm, kind voice of moderation in her sometimes rambunctious class. I don't exaggerate when I say that everyone in school respects and listens to Ayatsuji, because she sets an example that can only be admired. Naturally, all these qualities would have any man pining for her affections, and Junichi is quick to grow infatuated with Ayatsuji, but for entirely different reasons. Regardless of any vaguely defined attraction, Tsukasa Ayatsuji is a pillar of Kibito High, and not an arc passes where her strong, supportive presence is not felt and acknowledged by her grateful peers.